Greetings all. I'm having to speak fairly quietly because it is the middle of the night here in Japan and I have neighbors and I don't want to wake them up. But I have to say something about this storm Trevor because it has developed a very small eye. It's developed a pinhole eye, and that is indicated by the blues and the greens in this loop. But it's actually better visible in the Cyra geocolor. This is the geocolor and you can see the pinhole eye, but it's interesting. You can also make out what looks like a standing wave in this region. Whoa, that is too thick. Standing wave over here. It's not that well resolved on the radar, but you can certainly make it out. There is the small eye. In fact, this system has had an eye pretty much all day, even though it hasn't been always visible in the satellite imagery. But the main thing about this system today is the extreme convection that has been going on. It's been very, very thick. These yellows are minus 80 Celsius, and then the whites are minus 90, and then they're inside the whites you'll see, well, earlier in the day there were some darker colors, and it looked like it was approaching almost minus 100 Celsius. Now these are extraordinarily cold temperatures indicating very, very deep clouds, probably about 18 kilometers deep, maybe deeper. It's very difficult to tell, but we can actually do an estimate from the sounding, but I'm actually not going to do that right now. I mean, if you compare with Veronica over here, just look at the difference between these two storms. I mean, Veronica has, there is deep convection minus 70 Celsius, but I mean, the area and extent of minus 80 Celsius and below across, just filling the Gulf of Carpentaria, it's quite an incredible image, and with that pinhole eye in the center. But on a practical note, this is a very bit of a serious sign that this storm is rapidly intensifying, and well, there are some serious questions as to just how strong this storm is right now. And the issue is the estimates are being made by satellites and they are somewhat flawed. But anyway, so the current estimate at 92.4 knots. Well, check this out. We scroll down to the graph, and just recently in the latest update there has been a jump in the green line up to category 4, and honestly that would be my estimate. With that pinhole eye, that looks like a category 4, and well, it's a very, very serious system. And by category 4 I mean category 4 hurricane, not category 4 Australian style. This is more like category 5 Australian, category 4 hurricane, category 5 Australian. Based on the severe convection, the pinhole eye, and the adjusted T number, I suspect this is now a category 4 hurricane. That is defined as the winds right in the center, so around this pinhole eye. That is my suspicion. Now, as the storm approaches land, it's going to be feeling the effects of the dry air coming off land, and you can kind of already see that, how the convection is centered over the waters and limited over the land. So depending on how much interaction occurs will determine the intensity. So it may be at its strongest now, or it may continue to intensify. Tough call, but what we can do is look at roughly at the location where it is predicted to make landfall, which looks like it is somewhere around here. This is the Bureau's track, and so we can get an idea of the landfalling location. And if we remember the shape of the coast, I'll take a look at Google Maps to see if there's actually any settlements here. The absolute worst will be on the south side of the eye wall, and if that pinhole eye maintains or becomes stronger, then we're looking at a very localized region of quite severe devastation. So let's see if we can find a nice Thai restaurant for the evening in this area. Just kidding. So we're looking at around here, and well, the good news is there does not seem to be all that much in this area, apart from probably quite a few crocodiles and what look like estuaries and somewhat. So if we do have a small eye making landfall at major hurricane intensity, we may be looking at an area that is not habited by humans, at least not that I can see. In terms of the core of the storm, of course the effects of the storm will spread much wider, but I'm just concerning right with the center of the storm where the worst winds will be. After landfall, Trevor will weaken rapidly over land, and then the threat becomes one of heavy rain. But it does look like Trevor is progressing into the center of Australia as a weakened low pressure system. Because of its fairly decent movement, hopefully there will not be a major risk of flooding, but in the center of Australia it looks like it is giving a prolonged period of heavy rain. So I'm not sure whether that is around Uluru. It could be time for waterfalls on Uluru.